All right, so now I have the glass bead pouches in both of the legs, and you can see how that weight definitely affects the body. I tried to get it as stuffed as evenly as possible. You really have to work your way to push the little pouches down into the feet, and like I said, I just use this thicker a white chalk pencil to push it down, and I just push it down through the back of the leg, through that hole, very carefully. And you want to make sure that you're using like a thicker flat and to do the pushing as not to puncture the glass bead bag, otherwise your glass beads are going to pour all over the place. Okay, so I have the weight with the beads up to the knee area, as you see there, and I only have the hands weighted in the arms. The rest of the material in the arm, I'm going to be putting stuffing instead of the glass beads, so I'll have more stuffing just in the arms area. And before I sew it up, and if I feel like I need a little bit more glass beads, perhaps maybe up to the elbow, then I'll go ahead and add those in first. But of course, it's up to preference. You can fill the whole thing with glass beads if you want, but it might be a little bit too heavy for this size. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead back and check on my little baby head that I've had curing here while I was stuffing. And you can see now, whenever I tilt the head, there's no longer that hole or that gap along the bottom. You can see how the silicone now moves with that, the silicone head moves along with that bottom without having any bubbles in between. And that's exactly what I want. I want to make sure that the head is very secure on there. I'll stick her head back up there. All right, so now once I have those arms and legs in there, I'm going to go ahead and add the body pellet bag, the little glass bead weight pouch, into the body. I'm going to go ahead and do that first and work my way down and just kind of shake it into that again, just being really gentle because I don't want to puncture the stocking. There we go. And that falls right down in there and gives her that nice belly. I can already feel, how good this feels, just even without the polyfill inside. Yeah, that's going to feel really nice. And that's, again, way down in there. She's already kind of able to sit. And then I'm going to add in just a few of my Wonder wafers down towards the bottom of that sack. So I get that sitting right on top there. Now I'm going to add in some of the polyfill into the body. I want to make sure that I don't stuff too much. But I want to make sure that, I have that breastplate line there. I'm going to make sure that her arms will also not be like sticking out either too much. So right there I have just that little bit of polyfill. I also want to make sure that I'm going to have enough room to fit this piece inside of the body. I'm going to really have to squish that in here with this zip tie. So I think as far as the body goes, that's all that I'm going to need to put in there as far as polyfill. Next, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the legs. I think I'll do those first since I think I have them stuffed as much as I want. I'm also going to add in the rest of the wafers on top of the polyfill in the body. I might actually put 2 in the legs too. Maybe. Oh, that smells really good. I'll probably move it. And I want to make sure that while I'm putting those in there that they are, that they are not going to be able to be seen through the cloth or be poking out. So you can see that I'm pressing those, you know, right down there into the center of that body. And again, those are optional. You do not have to add those in there, but I just think that's super cute. And I might add the 2 into the legs and see if I like what that feels like. All right, so next I'm going to go ahead and add the filling, the polyfill into the legs. So I'm just going to grab just a little bit at a time because I don't want to overstuff. So you can see there. And then I'll go ahead and put that in right here along the back side. I don't know why I'm working on my legs instead of on the table. I guess that's just what I'm used to doing. I'm just gently working it in there because I don't want to stretch the stitches. I'm also going to be looking at the front to see where, so I want to make sure that I'll have enough to sew this little stitch right above the knee joint. Let's see there. Oops, my material, I want to make sure that it's not folded under, so whenever I do perform that ladder stitch, it'll be closed up with the finished edge, because you don't want this edge of the cloth sticking out. You do want that slightly tucked in there, that little hem there. Let's see here. I think that moves pretty good. Might add just a little bit more. Just a little bit, like not hardly anything's just enough there to fit right up underneath that, the top of the thigh. And again, you can also use, you know, a stuffing stick for that. Making sure that that's in there. Yeah, that looks better. That fills in that little gap right up there. I'm going to go ahead and do that to this leg as well. And then I'll come back and do the arms, and I'll decide if I want to have another section up here full of glass beads. I think I might actually want to have just above the elbow with the beads as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to pause the video so you don't have to sit through the stuffing again, but I did want to do at least one, and then I'll come back.